Welcome to another insightful talk about residential project management. Today I take you straight to site to get an idea of what it looks like behind the scenes when building or renovating a property in the luxury space, and how having the right processes in place ensures a successful project completion. My name is James Sharples, Projects Director at Bauhaus, and today I am joined by one of our trusted partners, Lee Nellis, founder of Nellis Architecture. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem at all.
This is Lee, founder of Nellis Architecture. We're working with Lee on numerous projects at the moment, and I've got to say, Lee, it's quite a pleasure working with your team.
Thanks very much, and likewise.
So Lee, obviously there's not a lot to see here at the moment, but I know there's quite a lot gone in the background. Can you tell us a bit about the process which we've come to get to this level?
Well, we're standing here at La Mer South Island, and we've been working on the architectural design for about 4 months, and then obviously we have the approval processes with Dubai Holdings and then DDA. So that it takes time. Now we've reached the end of the shoring and excavation, which was also a bit of a journey to get here. So the excavation and shoring took about 60 days, and then we took about 4 months to do the architectural design. This villa is very unique because, unlike anywhere else in the island, these medium-sized plots, it's the first one that has a basement. To do a basement, obviously it adds a bit more time to the programme, but it's really worth it. The resale value of this property will be much more than its neighbours because it has much more area.
Yeah.
And it's challenging, but really worth it for the end product. So,
and I think one thing which I was really impressed with the design as well, and adhering to the budget, we've actually got 3 swimming pools on this project, don't we?
Yeah, 3 swimming pools, we have a car lift, we have spa, gym, we have 5 bedrooms, even there's a pool on the roof with a glass floor, so very much lots of design, unique features, greenery. It's all about nature. Every room experiences nature in different ways. So it's really all about this island where we are, a beautiful location. It's near the beach, but you're in the heart of the city. The idea of this villa, we called it Soul, and the whole idea is you come from city life, you work hard, and you come back to a retreat where you relax, rejuvenate, and really
a sense of tranquility almost, isn't it?
So it's about island living and getting the aura of La Mer, and I think we've achieved that with the design. And I'm now excited that we've reached the bottom level, where now the main contractor can start doing the foundation.
Yeah. It's an exciting time of the project.
Very exciting.
I know the client's very excited to see your vision come to life as well.
Yeah, and it's about a 16-month construction programme which includes the full interior fit out as well. So yeah, we're excited to deliver this. It'll be one of the best villas on this island, we hope. And yeah, so excited to get going.
Yeah. So Lee, I know you mentioned about the process, but have materials already been selected at this stage?
Yeah, it all comes part of the architectural design: concept, schematic, detail. Concept stage is where we do the massing and the 3Ds and everything. Then the schematic is where we really specify everything. So that's normally done in month number 2. And then in month 3 and 4, we then start doing the construction drawings. So yeah, we specify everything right down to every last tile, every last stone. So it's all, before we get to here where we excavating, we put a spade in the soil. We must have all specifications and materials selected.
Yeah.
Otherwise there'll be changes and variations later.
Well, it's important because when you do go to tender as well, the contractors need to know what they're specifying, right? What they're procuring.
So during the tender, every contractor prices the exact same thing, the exact materials. So obviously the rates can be then compared apple to apple, and the final contractor gets selected based on their price, but they must price exactly as per the design and the materials.
And I think that's one of the things where clients don't quite understand, which goes into the construction process. There's a reason for the processes that we put there.
Yeah.
So we can actually get like-for-like offers, timelines, making sure that everything's captured so it doesn't impact the duration and cost later on.
Yeah, the traditional approach is always the best, where you hire a project manager and an architect and you do the design first and then you tender it and then you hire a contractor. That's much more of managing the budget from the beginning, and then there's no surprises later, and every single thing is, in terms of time quality, is then more reassuring to the client in terms of a design and build.
And I think that's a big point. Obviously, with traditional projects, you do have the consultants overseeing the works as well, don't you? So you do get that quality assurance, and we'll make sure that everything's built as per your design and there's no shortcuts made in that.
Yeah, I mean, we're the closest probably to the project, because since we were the designer, architect and the interior design, we want to always build our projects and supervise them. So we're here as a design guardian to make sure all the materials, the drawings, review of all shop drawings and everything is as per the original design drawings. And that then reassures the client that the quality is being maintained.
I suppose the design process isn't over, and it sounds stupid after you've finished the detailed design. There's obviously a lot more that goes into that after, and like you said, shop drawings is crucial for any project.
Yeah, there'll always be some changes along the way after a main contractor is awarded. It's natural once the building starts to go up and the clients are walking through the spaces, maybe there's a few tweaks here and there that need to adjusted. That's normal. And it's how you then monitor that and then send variation requests, and how that is all documented is key, and that's what Bauhaus definitely does well. And we as a designer are there to advise if some of these changes along the way are right or wrong, and give our opinion. But the client is the one investing, and they're paying for this, and we have always their best interests at heart. But it's natural. It's things evolve over time and get better.
And again, another thing that you've touched on is change administration, which is so crucial. There will be hurdles along the way during the construction process which will warrant certain variations, whether they're applicable against the contract or not. It's important to have that third set of eyes just to review that, to make sure that it is aligning with their contract and whether the variation is applicable. So ultimately the client isn't getting charged for something that shouldn't be there.
A lot of clients, it's their first time building, so they're relying on professionals to advise correctly, and we're there to do that. And it's not easy building, but if you hire the right professionals, then everything should run smooth.
So Lee, I know at the start of the project it's quite important for you to have a budget to work to. Is that correct?
we would always want to know, like, from the beginning, the budget, because otherwise we're designing then at a bit of a risk to us, where we have to go back and value engineer something or redesign it. And obviously we're a time-based industry, so we obviously want to do the designs as well as we can, but we don't want to go back and redesign it, and then that costs us time, salaries, and all that comes with it.
Because what I find as well, a lot of clients are a bit scared of sharing the budgets, which again, they think they can get a better deal, but especially with a construction project where they're hiring a consultant team, it's important that you know a budget to design to, because you could be designing a 30 million dirham project when the budget's only 10. So that means you've got to go all the way back to square one pretty much to do a full redesign.
I mean, once again, we'd rather they tell us from the beginning, but sometimes they might not want to share. And the cost obviously needs monitored from the beginning. So obviously having a project management company with us side by side at the beginning of a project is always beneficial, because when we do our concept design, you're in the same meetings, you're aware of the topics being discussed with the client, And then you're obviously monitoring the costs, the BOQs originally. So we'd always recommend a BOQ cost estimate is done schematic, and then it's redone again in the detail design. So
and I suppose
you get to tender, so it's been reviewed like 3 times.
It's assuring you where you are with your budget as well after each phase. So
yeah.
Cost estimates after the concepts after the schematic, and again pre-tender estimates as well, so you know where you're standing before those tenders come back, right?
Yeah, I mean obviously even when you're applying to the municipalities, or in this case in La Mer it's under DDA, of course budget's not a thing at all. It's they're reviewing the design, the structure of the MEP. So the budget is entirely client facing, needing many different people involved, the supply chain involved, to try and get to that final number the client's happy with. But of course we don't want it to be too restrictive at the beginning, and then it kind of it ruins the concept design that could have potentially been produced. So this particular project, we were not really told the budget at the beginning, and then after the concept was done and then the client, that's probably the best advice I would say, is maybe start talking about the budget once the concept is kind of evolved. And then we can refine it.
And then you can refine it when you're specifying. Because you touched on authority approvals as well, and it's so often overlooked by architects. And when I'm looking for certain designers or architects like yourself, I want to make sure that they've worked in that area before, so they know the regulations. So, for example, with the La Mer project that we're working on, you've done quite a few in here, haven't you? Yeah,
I mean, I've been in Dubai 14 years, and La Mer, relatively new community, but I think I've done 4 villas now here. And it's a challenge. Every community has different regulations. There's contractors which also are stronger in different communities as well. Palm Jumeirah's different guidelines, Emirates Hill's different guidelines, and La Mer is one of the ones where there's quite a bit of freedom to be creative. But you really need to know or be experienced in what you're doing here. Otherwise, the authority approvals can be massively extended, because it's not like in other places, but here you have master developer approval first, and then you have to go to the municipality for approval. So it's two stages.
And I suppose with permissible GFAs and everything else, so again that's something that you need to consider as an architect. And I know we touched on it before, just in relation to how you can actually be quite clever about how you use your GFA. We always like, when we review the regulations of any community, like we like to challenge it, we like to push the boundaries, try and like for this particular project we achieved the basement because DDA do not include it in the GFA calculation. So that was a huge area increase that the client could achieve on his plot. So value for money in terms of square meterage, and when he eventually sells this property, he's gained an extra 300 square meters, which is massive for the saleability of the plot, and it makes our plot stand out against everyone else's. With
the car lift and the whole story behind it, I think it's going to be amazing. And but it's all about challenging the regulation, being clever, being intelligent about the design, and also at the end of the day, creative. That's what architects do, but at the same time the whole process needs managed from a project management point of view. So
and I think that's overlooked a lot of the time as well. Some clients can just expect the designer to do the project management for them, but it's not actually their role.
Well, we always say in the very first meeting to clients, we want to focus on our core business and what we're good at. We're an architect firm, and project management is a whole other discipline, just like interior design, just like quantity surveying. So we prefer that the specialists do each role. So it's up to the client, and we advise the client to bring together a team of like-minded professionals, but all providing very different services. Because the architect or likewise the project manager cannot do all services. It's too much, and even for villa projects, you have many different consultants. There's a lot of moving parts, isn't there? And I don't think people understand how much
goes into the processes. It's not the build. The build's the easy part, I think. It's
contractors would probably disagree, but yeah.
It's the project management and architectural side of things. What way do you feel like it's going to shape the future in terms of your day-to-day tasks as well?
Well, we essentially do every single project in Revit, so BIM. BIM maybe for residential design anyway, probably wasn't used heavily 5 years ago, because mostly larger buildings, the software was a little bit expensive then, but now it's became, I think every office really has to begin to use it, otherwise they'll maybe fall behind. So for villa projects, we do everything in BIM. You coordinate it, you model the structure as well. And I think from a project management point of view as well, it's more efficient, less human error, and clients can quantify from it. So when it comes to the costing, the 3D part of it, the drawings are all from one model. So it leaves less room for mistakes.
It's the detail that goes into it as well, isn't it? So, I suppose when the clients finish the job as well, do you provide that as?
So the model then becomes like a maintenance model where, if, like, for example, things inside the ceiling where you can't see, but in the model you could see that there's an air conditioning duct or something. So it's good for larger buildings, of course, because you know where all the pipes are, you know where things in the wall and where the structural columns are. So it's definitely being asked more by residential clients in particular. But yeah, for example, to do a project here in Lemaire in 4 months, we needed to do it in BIM. There was no other way really to do any quicker than that.
And I suppose it's slow to start off with until you know the software, and obviously you've been using it quite a while now, haven't you? So like anything, it's kind of, any new thing is not exactly welcome to start off with potential future new employees, and but once they get to grips with it, it's so efficient and it moves so quickly.
Well, we're also on the BIM 360 cloud, so essentially when we go to site meetings, we have access to all the latest drawings, the latest model from our phone.
Amazing.
So it means that I don't have to bring printed drawings to that. I can log into our BIM model in the meeting and show it live. So that once again saves time, efficiency and all that. So we're trying to be more on the cloud, and I think that's the way most design firms and probably most project management firms are going.
If you have any questions or queries about what we've discussed today, or you're looking to start a project of your own, please get in touch with bauhausproject.ae, or please feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you.